Tonight is finally the glorious month of October, so we're talking American Horror Story with Madeline May, a countdown of the top 5 classic Halloween movies with Max Lewis, plus a whole lot more.
So get ready to creep into the details, because from Ball State University, the real deal starts now.
Hello and welcome to The Real Deal, Ball State's one and only entertainment news show. I'm Angelo Oriema. I'm behind the desk in place of Aiden Hall, who's out for the week due to illness.
And I'm Sunny Clark. Ladies and gentlemen, fall has been in full swing for a while now, and with it comes a plethora of horror films being crammed into theaters.
Here to walk us through some of the scares that we'll be able to see on the big screen this season is our very own Tristan Walker. What will suburban moms across the country want us to all avoid, Tristan?
With the spookiest month of the year finally arriving, we can hopefully expect some good creepy films coming to the big screen, right? One that is anticipated by many is Crimson Peak. The film has rather high ratings, such as an 8.8 out of 10 from IMDb and 4.5 stars out of 5 from Rotten Tomatoes. After marrying the charming and seductive Sir Thomas Sharpe, portrayed by Tom Hiddleston, young Edith, portrayed by Mia Wasikowska, finds herself swept away to his remote Gothic mansion in the English hills. Also living there is Lady Lucille, Jessica Chastain, Thomas's alluring sister and protector of her family's dark secrets. Able to communicate with the dead, Edith tries to decipher the mystery behind the ghostly visions that haunt her new home. As she comes closer to the truth, Edith may learn that true monsters are made of flesh and blood. This American romantic Gothic horror film directed by Guillermo del Toro hits theaters on October 16th. Also hitting theaters on October 16th for a nostalgic scare is Goosebumps, the film directed by Rob Letterman and starring Jack Black. Upset about moving from a big city to a small town, teenager Zach Cooper, portrayed by Dylan Minnette, finds a silver lining when he meets the beautiful girl Hannah, portrayed by Odeya Rush, living right next door. But every silver lining has a cloud, and Zach comes home, he learns that Hannah has a mysterious dad who is revealed to be R.L. Stine, who is played by Jack Black, the author of the best-selling Goosebumps series. It turns out that there's a reason why Stine is so strange. He's a prisoner of his own imagination. The monsters that his books are made famous are real. And Stine protects his readers by keeping them locked up in their books. When Zach unintentionally unleashes the monsters from their manuscripts and they begin to terrorize the town, it's suddenly up to Stine, Zach, and Hannah to get all of them back in the books where they belong. The acclaimed Goosebumps series, published by Scholastic, has sold over 400 million Goosebumps books worldwide in 32 languages since the series' introduction in 1992. Earning critical acclaim and dominating global bestseller lists, R.L. Stine has been recognized as one of the best-selling children's authors in history. Last but not least, the terrifying trailer for Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension has made its derivative but deadly debut. Billed with the promise that every secret will be revealed, the fifth and final paranormal film is looking to cross the found footage finish line with what could be its most definitive bit of demonic terrorizing. Despite the fact that 5 movies in, the audiences are well aware of what to expect, the setup of the horrendous haunting actually appears to be brilliantly done. Out of random curiosity, the Holmes resident brothers watched the footage, showing young versions of the series' ill-fated characters, sisters Katie and Christy, engaged in some sort of deep spiritual possession. However, in a mind-blowing twist, the present-day viewing of the old footage has created some type of time-bending teleconference effect, and the brothers are actually communicating with the young girls in the past. As far as inciting incidents go, it deserves some kudos for originality, especially this far into the franchise. The Ghost Dimension marks the directional debut of Gregory Plotkin, a film editor who worked on all the Paranormal Activity sequels. Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension will use outmoded video equipment to terrify moviegoers at theaters on October 23rd.
Thanks, Tristan. With so many great horror movies coming out this fall season, it's easy to forget that many shows are carrying the horror torch on TV, the most prominent being FX's American Horror Story.
Perhaps none of us are as excited as Madeline May, who has a preview of what's to come. Madeline?
America, I'm here to let you know that we have been teased for far too long. This video propaganda, lack of confirmed information, and promises of sheer terror, we're being taken advantage of, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. American Horror Story. There are questions that we need answered. These 30-second clips and sneak peeks aren't cutting it. Losing Jessica Lange from the show might be the worst thing that could have possibly happened to us. But this is not a time to panic. A rescuer is on the way in the form of Lady Gaga. If anyone can possibly make up for the absence of such a television game changer, it's going to be Lady Gaga. Here's why I think we're going to love her. She's already a mysterious woman. She's already an icon for being a little freaky, and there's just something intimidating enough about her that she has a magnetic effect on us. We will be drawn to the show just for a little Gaga. But besides her, this theme alone is going to dominate. A hotel? Do you know how many floors could be in this hotel for people to hide? Kinky housekeepers with keys to everyone's rooms, a desk to check in but never check out. A hotel has so much potential. I'm expecting this to be the darkest season yet. Season 1 of American Horror Story may have been the best one so far. 4 seasons later, we're back in Los Angeles. One of the things that makes AHS so good is the historical context. Season 2's Asylum had a strong connection to Nazis. Coven nailed the Salem witch trials in Season 3. According to Vanity Fair, Season 5 will feature horrifying stories from real-life Hotel Cecil. Bring it on! Nothing scares an audience more than the truth. Confirmation for the hotel theme was announced in October of 2014. We've waited an entire year for this. It's finally here. Get your freak on for October 7th because we are checking into Hotel Cortez for a long-term stay.
Thanks, Madeline. Well, Lady Gaga always did like to keep her monsters close by.
Definitely. There's no doubt all the little monsters out there are dying to see this season unfold.
Coming up next, which movies made it to the top 5 Halloween films? Max Lewis will reveal his opinion on the matter after the break.
Give up. This is about everyone Wicked's ever taken. They'll never stop. So I'm gonna stop them.
Don't you want to know why this all happened? You're so close to the truth.
Right there! Hang on!
I never had anything like this in my life. This big, beautiful, exciting thing that you created.
Remember who did that?
Who?
Good times.
It's moments like this when you need someone you know you can count on. Because you're my...
Intern.
Well, I was gonna say intern / best friend. Look. You use me as bait. Freeze!
You saw things you shouldn't have seen.
Works for the competition.
Providing a measure of order that we could control.
I'm gonna tell everyone what you did.
That would be a major mistake.
How are we doing?
Oh, he's adorable!
How cute! You know who could fix the kidness? Snap. Vlad.
Hi, Dad. Are we ready to do this?
Guys, we're running out of time!
No matter what happens, tell the world, tell my family that I never stop fighting to make it home.
Welcome back, entertainment lovers. With the beginning of October comes the beginning of horror movie marathons.
Here with a list of his top 5 Halloween movies is Max Lewis. What's scaring us tonight, Max?
With it being October, it's time to break out the Halloween movies again. There are so many Halloween movies out there that you just can't see them all. So here are the top 5 Halloween movies you must watch. Number 5 on my list is Scream. The Scream franchise is now up to 4 movies, but the original Scream movie is a Halloween classic. The Ghostface killer that reappears in the subsequent movies makes its first appearance in this movie, killing teenagers living in a small town. A girl and her friends set out to find him, but not everyone survives. This is a great pick to watch late at night, but you might be a little on edge for a while. But hey, that's what scary movies are all about. Number 4 on my list is Halloween Town. If you're looking for something that's not so scary, this is the movie for you. Halloween Town is a Disney Channel Halloween classic in which 3 siblings who aren't allowed to celebrate Halloween run away with their Halloween-loving grandmother and discover that she's a witch from a town called Halloween Town. This is a must-watch for all you millennials out there. I would suggest having a Halloween Town marathon this year. It has 3 sequels. Number 3 is Silence of the Lambs. This is a must-watch at all times, but especially in October. Young FBI agent Clarice Starling is assigned to help find a missing woman to save her from a psychopathic serial killer who skins his victims. Clarice attempts to gain a better insight into the twisted mind of the killer by talking to another psychopath, Dr. Hannibal Lecter, who used to be a respected psychiatrist. FBI agent Jack Crawford believes that Lecter, who is also a very powerful and clever mind manipulator, has the answers to their questions and can help locate the killer. However, Clarice must first gain Lecter's confidence before the inmate will give away any information. This movie is a classic, and that's why it takes the number 3 spot. Number 2 on my list is The Exorcist. You definitely do not want to watch this movie alone. A visiting actress in Washington, D.C. noticed dramatic and dangerous changes in the behavior and physical makeup of her 12-year-old daughter, Reagan. Meanwhile, a young priest at a nearby Georgetown University begins to doubt his faith while dealing with his mother's terminal sickness. And bookending the story, a frail elderly priest recognizes the necessity for a showdown with an old demonic enemy. These 3 persons meet when the sweet and cheerful Reagan turns foul-mouthed and violent, but her sickness is beyond the reach of a medical doctor or a psychiatrist. What Reagan needs is an exorcist. This movie will have you looking over your shoulder for the next month, so of course it will take the number 2 spot. And last but certainly not least is my number 1 pick, Halloween. You might want to keep the lights on when watching Halloween. It's seriously scary. The year is 1963, the night Halloween. Police are called to 43 Lambkin Lane only to discover that 15-year-old Judith Myers has been stabbed to death by her 6-year-old brother Michael. After being institutionalized for 15 years, Michael breaks out on the night before Halloween. No one knows nor wants to find out what will happen on October 31st of 1978, besides Michael's psychiatrist, Dr. Loomis. He knows Michael is coming back to Haddonfield, but by the time the town realizes it, it'll be too late for many people. This movie is considered one of the scariest movies of all time and will have you being extra cautious on Halloween night. That's exactly why it takes the number 1 spot on my list. So this month, get some friends together, grab a bowl of popcorn, and watch all these movies. You will not regret it. This has been Max Lewis with your top 5 Halloween movies.
Thank you, Max. I might be a bit of a Halloweenie this year and skip out on a few of the horror flicks.
Well, I don't blame you. Many of those films do tend to be pretty horrifying. Apart from Halloween Town, of course.
Speaking of horrifying things, Tina Maric is here with our Music Minute with frightening news involving a go-go juice drinking pageant girl and more, less objectively horrifying music news. Tina?
First up, Apple Music's trial period is ending. The service, launched on June 30th, offered a free 3-month subscription for users to try it out. But Apple is automatically renewing subscriptions unless they're canceled. According to Digiday.com, Apple is sending out emails to subscribers alerting them about the trial period ending and the $9.99 monthly fee. Still, people are taking to Twitter to comment about being charged or not knowing how to cancel. Apple Music racked up 11 million subscribers during the trial period. The company says it's not worried about the number of subscribers falling and that Apple is in this for the long haul. Next, VH1's Best of Music 2015 You Oughta Know concert is just around the corner. Hozier, George Ezra, Tori Kelly, Elle King, Miguel, and ex-ambassadors are some of the artists who will be taking the stage live on Thursday, November 12th. The festival-style concert event will feature never-before-seen collaborations and covers. We'll also get an inside look at the artists' personal lives and careers through VH1 original short film profiles. The franchise has helped jumpstart the careers of some of music's biggest names, like Sam Smith, a 2014 You Oughta Know artist who has won 4 Grammy Awards, 3 Billboard Music Awards, and 1 American Music Award. Lastly, Alana Thompson, better known as Honey Boo Boo, has released her first song titled Movin' Up. Yes, along with its music video. Although it's been nearly a year since her TLC show, Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, was taken off the air, People.com reports the 10-year-old is making her mark as a recording artist with the help of singer-songwriter Adam Barta. Thompson's family is in on that act as well. Mama June and Sugar Bear make cameos in the music video, and 16-year-old sister Lauren Shannon, aka Pumpkin, is a featured vocalist. That's all for Music Minute. I'm Tina Maric.
Thank you, Tina, for those updates into the music scene.
We'll be back shortly with even more music coverage and Logan Swash with the track review and Brandon Krasinski with an Under the Radar segment. Stay tuned.
Thanks for sticking with us. Now, much like Diamonds, a great theme song is forever.
While many may say live and let die to this concept, a theme song can be incredibly helpful to indicating the general tone of the film and setting up for the thrills to come after the opening credits.
And when it comes to reviewing James Bond themes, nobody does it better than our very own Logan Swash. Logan, does the new Bond theme reach an all-time high, or does it take the living daylights out of its listeners?
Thanks, guys. On November 6th, the next 007 film titled Spectre will hit theaters. It is one of my most anticipated films of the fall, and I get more excited with each passing day. However, I'm not talking about the film today. Instead, I am discussing a pivotal part of the 007 films, the theme song. From Shirley Bassey's Goldfinger to Adele's Skyfall, a Bond theme needs as much time and effort as the actual film, as it can set the perfect tone for the film we're about to watch. It should get you pumped for the experience, though there is something to ponder. What if the theme song is bad? Well, it was revealed early last month that Sam Smith was the artist given the honor of creating the theme for Spectre. Fast forward to the 25th of September, and the song titled Writings on the Wall was released to the public with immense popularity, though with a split opinion on the overall quality. Is it the worst Bond ever? Who knows? I'm just here to tell you what I thought of it. And in all honesty, Sam Smith does fall short of creating a classic Bond theme, but borrows a lot of what made Skyfall great to make it a passable selection. First up, the orchestration for this piece is fantastic. It gives me goosebumps to hear such a beautiful combination of percussion, strings, brass, and piano carry a piece throughout its entirety. Smith's voice really complements the wonderful orchestration, yet his falsetto is a bit off-putting in certain sections. The orchestra is very reminiscent of how Skyfall used orchestration, which I can't help but be totally okay with. Unfortunately, the song has more problems than good. The lyrics of the song are very rudimentary and just don't hit well compared to the flow and catchiness of the previous Bond theme. The song also doesn't do much new to stand out from the previous theme iterations, making it be much overshadowed by much better themes such as Chris Cornell's Casino Royale theme and even Tom Jones's Thunderball theme. I understand the song's popularity is due to the popularity of Smith himself, but I just don't see this song being as loud as a radio hit as Skyfall. Overall, despite my issues with the song, it's an alright song. I still like it and feel a lot of its hate is warranted, but to a certain degree. I feel that it will definitely work with Sam Mendes' vision of the current Bond films, though it won't have the same impact as Adele's Skyfall. If you haven't tried the song yet, I highly recommend giving it a listen to form your own opinion. Just remember, though, that in the 50-plus years Bond has been around, nothing will ever be worse than Madonna's Bond theme from Die Another Day. I'm Logan Sowash. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Logan. It really does seem like the Bond films have been giving us some great music for a significant amount of time.
While we may love what's familiar, some of the most interesting and genre-pushing music is being released under our noses.
Here to tell us about a band that's been living under the radar but perhaps deserves some more recognition is Brandon Krasinski. Brandon?
Boundary-pushing music has always been something that I actively seek out. While I often find an incredible amount of merit in more conventional music stylings, I will always have something of an attraction to music that pushes boundaries, challenges the listener, and gives me a sound that I would not be able to find anywhere else on earth. For all those out there who tend to be a little more musically adventurous like myself and don't mind their fair share of weirdness, I would highly recommend the little-known but boundary-pushing noise rap group Death Grips. Now, Death Grips, composed of Zach Hill, renowned drummer of Hella and Waves fame, producer Andy Flatlander Morin, and rapper Stephen MC Ride Burnett, the Sacramento trio has been at it since 2011 when they first caught the attention of the underground blogosphere with their self-titled debut EP. However, their true critical breakthrough came on their rock and noise-inspired mixtape Ex-Military, also released in 2011. Some of their biggest songs, including Guillotine, Tachyon, I Want It, I Need It, and Beware, were present on this tape and helped them further spread their message. The acclaim was so significant, they caught the attention of Epic Records of all people, who released 2 of their albums, the glitchy, dementedly poppy The Money Store and the dark, primal, No Love, Deep Web. The latter of those records was the subject of much controversy, however, as the band themselves released it onto torrent sites without the permission of Epic, who wanted to release it a year later due to business purposes. After being promptly booted off that label after that particular incident, which also involved leaking some internal emails, Death Grips went fully independent, releasing the electronica music-inspired Government Plates in 2013. 2014 saw them release the glitchy, paranoid, and lyrical first half of their double album, The Powers That Be, with the shoegaze and punk-inspired second half, titled Jenny Death, arriving more than a year later. There's currently no news as to what they're currently working on, as they tend to be very enigmatic and private in their artistry. Now, one of the more immediately appealing aspects of the group is their penchant for not conforming to anyone's expectations. Now, this is reflected in both musically and in general ethos. Not only does their music continually subvert the expectations of rap, noise, and industrial music, but the band's behavior is completely unpredictable. Death Grips is infamous for canceling or not showing up to a good portion of their shows in the name of performance art. They put out cryptic information on the internet that usually leads to arguments as to what is real and what's mere trolling. They even announced that they were breaking up in 2014, only for me to see them live in Chicago almost exactly a year later. It was still one of the best shows of my life, by the way. That may sound irritating on paper, and it occasionally is. They've made themselves one of the most thrilling bands of the century. The unpredictability is incredibly refreshing. Us fans truly have no idea what the trio is going to pull next, be it releasing a surprise album for their garage rock project, the ILYs, or let their songs be used in Adidas commercials of all places. It also helps that the music is exhilarating and one of a kind. Chaotic and noise-inspired synths, manic drumming, and vocals that I could only describe as a drug-addled hobo screaming his cryptic ramblings at you in a dark alley define their sound. Now, it's definitely not accessible in the least, but once one gets an ear for them, there's not much else that can quite shake you to your core and inspire the primal feeling of listening to a Death Grips song. Now, let me reiterate. This is not music that I would expect every music consumer on the planet to like. I've met less people in my life who have met them than I have fingers. However, if you're down for this sort of thing, I have no doubt that a music consumer with adventurous tastes and a heart for dementedly catchy choruses will find something to love with Death Grips. Until next time, I'm Brandon Krakowski.
Thank you for that, Brandon. I think that my first course of action once I leave this taping will be to introduce Death Grips to my grandmother.
Good luck with that, Angelo. For our viewers back home, stay tuned because our final word is coming up next.
I love you, my Peter. You are extraordinary.
This is not the end of me. This is the beginning. This is not the end of me. This is the beginning.
I was born and raised in Big Stone Gap.
Morning, beautiful. I don't know why you honking the horn. I'm standing out here black as night. I know you can see me.
Before I knew it, it was 1978 and I turned 40. I was the old maid.
At this point, you just gotta take whatever you can get.
Your mama came in to see me about doing her well. When people die, that's when old secrets come out.
This is my father.
This sure explains your nose.
What do you do? You're not an engineer. You're not a designer. You can't put a hammer to a nail. I built the circuit board. The graphical interface was stolen. So how come 10 times in a day, I read Steve Jobs as a genius? What do you do?
Musicians play their instruments. I play the orchestra.
So, are you ready for a game?
Depends on the game.
And I want you to run Veronica.
And then what?
We hunt you down.
There's no one person more powerful than the other. Only the one with the most will is the strongest. You're gonna have to do this mission alone.
I'm gonna enjoy this.
Welcome back. With all the titles popping up this fall season, there is truly a wide variety of content no matter what kind of entertainment you're looking for. Be it comedy or tense drama, there are an abundance of places to turn to find the perfect show for you. With all the possibilities to choose from, I've personally latched onto a new Fox show that didn't fail to lift me up after a rigorous week of tests and note-taking. The Grinder, despite certainly not being the most original or unique show on the market, is a fun and rather ridiculous ride into the world of buddy law stories. Think Franklin and Bash, only with the dynamic duo of Rob Lowe and Fred Savage. Lowe portrays an actor coming off of a successful law TV show and returns to his hometown with the desire to assist his brother, played by Savage, in actual trials. Now, the conflict of Savage, an actually well-trained and certified lawyer, and Lowe, who is unprepared and unqualified, may come off as hokey, but the two bounce off each other so well and have such a likable and believable chemistry that it just works. Its self-awareness and absurdity give it a profound charm. Its half-hour time slot may force it to rush a bit, but in times like these where intense, heart-pounding serials are a dime a dozen, something as light as the Grinder may literally be the best choice you can find in the new market if you want a quick cheer-up, and has my recommendation.
As the fall season begins, a few of everyone's favorite shows are soon to make another reappearance on the TV screen. For instance, CW's superhero show, The Flash, which centers on Barry Allen, whom after an accident wakes up from his coma and discovers that he's now the fastest man on Earth and must decide whether to use these newfound powers for good or evil, premieres on October 6th at 8 p.m. MTV's Finding Carter, which has to do with the young girl trying to find her identity after learning she was kidnapped and taken away from her real family as a child, will come back for season 3 on October 9th. And lastly, AMC's hit show, The Walking Dead, which has been running for 5 years now, is an American horror drama television series developed by Frank Darabont. Rick Grimes is the show's lead character who awakens from a month-long coma to confront an apocalyptic world overrun by zombies. Grimes reunites with his family and becomes the leader of a group he forms with other survivors. Together they struggle to survive and adapt to a world filled with zombies and some humans who are even more dangerous than the zombies themselves. This fast-paced drama comes back on October 11th. As you can see, the beginning of October is packed with a bunch of fall premieres, and I can't wait to see what fall TV has in store for us.
And that wraps up the show for this week. Be sure to check out our website, Facebook, and Twitter pages for news and updates on all things entertainment. I'm Angelo Oriema.
And I'm Sunny Clark. We'll see you next time.